Have you ever cried during a film? I know I have. Cinema has a way of reaching into the deepest parts of us, stirring emotions we didn't even know were there. It's the perfect combination of storytelling, music, and visuals that captures our hearts. It's funny how sometimes we find ourselves moved to tears by something that is not even real. But what if I told you that behind the tough guy we see on the screen, the one who never flinches, who fights through impossible odds, there's a real human being, someone who has fought battles that have left scars that are far deeper than any stunt he's ever done? I'm talking about Jason Statham. Jason Statham, one of Hollywood's most iconic action heroes, is the man who's been through the kind of physical pain and emotional struggle that many of us can barely imagine. He's the guy who dives into real fights, does his own stunts, and makes every explosion seem effortless. Whether he's throwing punches, driving high-speed cars, or walking through fire, it all looks so natural, like second nature. But what most people don't know is that behind all the Hollywood glitz, Jason Statham has faced some serious struggles in his personal life. His journey is not just about muscles and explosions, it's about surviving, about fighting through the toughest times and learning that real strength is far more than what you see on the surface. Jason's story begins far from the glitz of Hollywood, and to understand the man he's become, we need to look at where it all started. Born on July 26, 1967, in Shirebrook, Derbyshire, England, Jason came into the world as the son of Eileen, a dancer, and Barry, a man who took any job he could to support the family. Jason's early life was grounded in working-class values. Money was tight, and opportunities were few. But this only taught Jason one thing: if you want something, you fight for it. From a very young age, Jason was determined. At the age of 12, he discovered diving. He was captivated by it. He dedicated himself completely, spending every spare moment at the Crystal Palace Sports Center. Training was his life. Early mornings, late nights, and no room for excuses. Jason's dream was clear. He wanted to represent Britain at the Olympics. For over a decade, he worked tirelessly, his focus unshaken, all for the hope of one day standing on the Olympic podium. But life had other plans. In 1992, Jason fell just one spot short of making the British Olympic team. One single position. The heartbreak of that moment was indescribable. After so many years of dedication, he stood there staring at the pool, watching his dream sink. But Jason didn't break down. He didn't give up. He simply stood there, still taking in the lesson life had just handed him. That failure taught him one of the most important lessons of his life. True strength doesn't come from winning. It comes from how you rise after every fall. With his diving dreams dashed, Jason had to start over. The man who had once been poised to represent his country at the Olympics now had to hustle just to get by. He turned to the streets of London, selling cheap watches and fake perfume to strangers who barely even noticed him. It was a tough life. He was hungry, broke, and cold. But he kept moving forward. Every day he worked, and every night he trained. Doing push-ups, shadowboxing, anything to stay sharp. He knew he wasn't finished yet. Then, one chance encounter changed everything. While doing some small modeling gigs to make ends meet, Jason caught the eye of British filmmaker Guy Ritchie. There was something raw and real about Jason, something genuine that couldn't be faked. Ritchie saw something special in him and decided to cast him in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That one decision was the beginning of everything. Jason's performance was a revelation. The audience didn't just see a tough guy, they saw the tough guy. Jason wasn't pretending to be a tough guy, he just was. His authenticity and sharp wit captivated everyone. From that moment, Jason was on his way to superstardom. The roles just kept coming. Snatch, The Transporter, Crank. Films that cemented his place as one of the most reliable action stars in Hollywood. What made Jason different from other action stars was his commitment to doing his own stunts. He didn't just jump into car chases and fight sequences. He took the hits. He felt the bruises. He pushed his body to its breaking point. "If I get hurt," he once said, "at least it's real." Torn muscles, broken ribs, sleepless nights. It was all part of the job. He'd gone from hustling on the streets of London to starring in some of the biggest action films in the world. He had fame, wealth, and respect. But despite all of this, something inside him was missing. Behind the movie posters and flashing lights, Jason began to feel the weight of his own success. The more popular he became, the more distant he felt from those around him. In the late 1990s, Jason began dating Kelly Brook, a rising star in her own right. Together, they were one of Britain's most talked-about couples. But as Jason's Hollywood career exploded, the distance between them grew. He was constantly flying between Los Angeles and London, working on one film after another. Eventually, Kelly left him. Jason didn't chase her, he simply said, "The pain of being replaced while still loyal is a heartbreak you don't forget." This pattern of broken relationships continued. In 2005, he met Sophie Monk, an Australian singer and actress. They shared a brief but joyful connection. But as before, the pressures of his career and the miles between them caused their relationship to fade. Then in 2006, Jason started dating Alex Zisman, a woman far removed from the Hollywood spotlight. She offered him a sense of calm. For nearly 3 years, Jason found peace in her company. But once again, the relationship succumbed to the pressure of his demanding career. Jason never placed blame on anyone. Instead, he said, "Everyone wanted the actor, but no one saw the man." Fame had given him everything, except connection. And that loneliness haunted him for years. As his career blossomed, Jason poured himself into his films. Every punch, every explosion, every fight scene became an outlet for his pain, a way to release the heartbreak that had accumulated over the years. But the weight of the past never fully left him. He carried it with him, and it became an unspoken part of the man we saw on screen. Then, in 2011, came a tragedy that would haunt him for the rest of his life. While filming The Expendables 2, a stunt went horribly wrong. An explosion killed 26-year-old stuntman Kun Liu. Jason was there, watching helplessly as a fellow stuntman. Someone who shared his love for this dangerous craft lost his life. "You think you're invincible," Jason said later, "until you see someone die doing what you love." It was a moment that shook him to his core. He never spoke about it again, but every film after that moment was different. Before every movie now, he would pause for a brief, silent tribute, remembering those who didn't make it home. But fate had one more test for him. In 2013, while filming The Expendables 3, Jason was involved in a near-death accident. During a routine stunt, a truck's brakes failed, and Jason's vehicle plunged off a pier and into the Black Sea. Water rushed in, and within seconds he was sinking. Trapped in the cabin, Jason fought for his life, slamming his shoulder into the door, trying to break it open. The water kept rising. He thought of his family. He thought of everything he still had to do. But something inside him took over. Finally, with all the strength he had left, he kicked the door open, fought against the current, and somehow made it to the surface. When he emerged, gasping for air, Sylvester Stallone rushed toward him and later said, "If anyone else had been driving, they'd be dead." Jason had survived. But he wasn't the same after that. He became quieter, more withdrawn. The near-death experience had changed him. The man who had once fearlessly faced explosions and fistfights now struggled to face the internal battles that had long been brewing inside him. The physical toll of years of stunts had also caught up with him. His body ached, his back hurt, his joints were stiff. "I used to fight bad guys," he said. "Now I fight my own body." But Jason didn't stop. He kept pushing himself, boxing, swimming, yoga, anything to keep moving. Because if he stopped, he feared what might surface. The thoughts, the loneliness, the ghosts of his past. Then came Rosie Huntington Whiteley. She brought him a peace he had never known before. With Rosie by his side, Jason found stability and calm. Together, they built a family with 2 children, Jack and Isabella. They became his reason to fight, not for fame or glory, but for them. This, Jason once said, is the only fight he never wanted to win. He had found the kind of love and peace that was worth more than any movie role. And though the chaos of his past still loomed over him, he knew that with his family, he had finally found something worth living for. Today, Jason Statham stands as one of Hollywood's biggest action legends. But behind the tough guy image is a man who has fought for everything. From the streets of London to the heights of Hollywood, he's battled through loneliness, heartbreak, and physical pain. His real story is more powerful than any role he's ever played. So, what do you think? Is Jason Statham's real story more inspiring than any action movie? Drop your thoughts below. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We have more amazing stories coming your way. Until next time, see you.